Hello, and welcome to the Pest Control Marketing Podcast with your host, me, Hal Coleman, uncensored and unplugged. Pay attention, take lots of notes, because you're going to find out exactly how to get more new customers, more referrals, and grow your business.
Hal Coleman has been active in the pest control industry for over 40 years, including owning and operating his own successful pest control business for 18 years. He now devotes his time to helping other PCOs and other WCOs double, triple, and even quadruple their businesses faster than they ever imagined. Be sure to check out his website, pestcontrolmarketer.com. For more information about Hal's coaching program, you can reach him at 770-993-0004 or email him hal@halcoleman.com. Mike Stewart is known as the Internet audio and video guy. Since the birth of the Internet, Mike has been showing small business owners how to get more new customers, increase their sales, and grow their businesses online using audio and video, now with iPhones and Android phones. For more information about Mike's coaching program and his online training courses, visit MikeStewartCoaching.com or email him mike@internetaudioguide.com.
Well, hello, this is Hal Coleman again, the Pest Control Marketer, and I'm here with Mike Stewart. How you doing, Mikey?
I am great today. It's just always fun to get with you through our virtual studios and create information that hopefully makes a difference in people's minds, attitudes, and businesses.
Well, me too. And, you know, I've been in the pest control industry for over 43 years as I sit and talk about this today. And I love this industry, and I love being able to help people. And now with the internet and everything we have available to us now, so much better than it was 43 years ago when I got into the industry. I wish I had had somebody like you and me to help me back then, Mike. You know what? But I didn't. But one of the things that I think they would have taught me early on, which I didn't really understand or think was very important, was goal setting. Goal setting. Do you set goals?
Well, you know, that brings up an interesting point from 30 years ago, 25, 30 years ago. We had a mutual mentor, you and I, and I can't stress the importance of having mentors and coaches. But I remember our dear friend, bless his soul, Larry Latimer, told me, he said, "Are you setting goals, Mike?" And he said, "It's not enough to just think of it." He said, "You need to write it down." And I said, "Larry, I mean, is it really important to write your goals down?" He says, "Oh, absolutely." He said, "That's what Napoleon Hill says." And I said, "Napoleon Hill? I mean, you know, I'm thinking, you know, French conqueror." You know,
I thought it was a mountain up in North Georgia.
No. It's a fellow who I love the history of, and you can Google him and you can see that he was one of the pioneers of creating success, mind-changing, goal-setting systems that he learned from the most successful people of all times, like Andrew Carnegie and Thomas Edison. But anyway, I've
read many of his books. I probably read Think and Grow Rich 5 or 6 times.
Well, you know, that's what Larry told me. He said, you know, you need to set goals, but he said you need to get the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And I did that. I think I was in my late 20s when Larry told me that. So that was at least 35, 40, close to 40 years ago. And I remember that one of the things that I read in the Napoleon book is that it's not enough to set goals, but you must write them down, and you should. It made a recommendation that you read them out loud morning and night, but when you wake up in the morning, when you go to bed, to program your subconscious or your Elmo. And I give Larry credit for me saying to do that, and I did that. And it's pretty interesting that usually when you write things down and you work on focusing on what can I do to bring this goal about, pretty much everything I have done in the past, I look back on it at some point, and they can't be crazy goals. I want to win $200 million in the lottery tomorrow afternoon. You know, that's not really a goal. But we should talk about crafting goals for your business and what's realistic goals, and what you can do to motivate your subconscious and yourself to do something every day. Am I doing something every day to stay focused on accomplishing these things that I've written down? So anyway, I give Larry credit for teaching me about goal setting, and I give Napoleon Hill for helping me understand the structure and the purpose and the way to put goals together. In fact, I had a client and a friend years ago. He said, "You know what I do?" He says, I like Napoleon Hill. I write my goals down. I wrap them around a $100 bill and I hide them in my wallet. And I've done that for years. And he said, you may think that's a little crazy, but he said, it makes me feel two ways. He says, I know I'm never broke because I've always got this goals and a $100 bill in my wallet. So just anyway, little things like that to keep you focused on accomplishing what, how was it said? You first must believe. If you can conceive it and believe it, you can achieve it.
Absolutely. That was Napoleon Hill, and I've got my goals written down right here by my computer on my bulletin board, and actually, day before yesterday, I took down my goal for 2017, and I put up my new goals for 2018. I had 5 goals for 2017. I hit 3 of them out of the park. The 4th one I did pretty well on. I still have some work to do there. And the 5th one turned out to be something that I changed. And it's no longer a goal here at the end of the year because it was replaced by something. But not even realizing how those things come about when they're written down. Now, I met with the pest control guy a couple of months ago, and it was typical of a lot of people that I meet with. We met at a restaurant. We were talking about his business, and I said, "What's your goal for this next year?" Now he's got about 5 employees, I think, and he does about $500,000 worth of business a year, and he's been in business for quite a few years now, probably over 15 years, and his business is not growing very fast. I said, "Well, what's your goal for this year?" He said, "Well, my goal is to sell as much as I can this next year and grow my business as big as I can grow it next year." I said, "Well, that's not really a good goal." He said, "Well, why would it be anything else?" He said, if I can sell as much as I can and grow as big as I can grow." I said, because you have no numbers. You have no numbers to look at. You have it's like when somebody loses weight, if they do it right under supervision, they're going to get a goal of 1 pound a week. And then you do whatever you have to do to reach that pound. You're not looking at gaining losing 52 pounds, which can be overwhelming. So you structure everything to lose 1 pound a week or 1 pound every 2 weeks. And pretty soon the 52 weeks has gone by and you've lost 52 pounds. So I said, how much do you want to grow by 20%, which would be another $100,000? I said, then you need to figure out how much production you have to put on each month and how much sales each of your salespeople has to do. And you've got to come up with the numbers and balance it all out. And once you do that, it's just like if you were, when I was a kid, we went to Panama City every summer for vacation. First, as soon as school was out, my dad we all loaded up in this family station wagon, headed for Panama City for a week. But somebody said, "Where are y'all going on vacation? When are you going?" "Well, we're going the first week of June." "How are you going to get there?" Where are you going?" "We're going to Panama City." "Well, how are you going to get there?" Well, my dad said, "Well, I got a map here. We're going to go down Highway 19. We're going to get off on so-and-so in Columbus. We're going to go down through Dothan, Alabama. We're going to, he had it all mapped out, how to get to Panama City. He knew, he could tell you how far we were going to go before we would be hungry and we would have to stop at a certain restaurant and eat breakfast, because we would leave at like 4 o'clock in the morning. Try to get a lot of driving done before it got hot because we didn't have air-conditioned automobiles back then. But he knew then we'd get gas at that particular place. had it all figured out, and we got there. But if you'd have said, well, I'm going to Panama City, well, where I know it's someplace in Florida. I'm not sure where it is, but you know what? If we drive as far as we can drive for as long as we can drive, and we keep heading south, sooner or later we'll find that place. You know, that's the way I see it. We just drive as far as we can go. And that's not a good goal. That's not a way to get to Panama City. So if you want to grow your business, if you're doing $100,000 worth of business, you want to grow it to $200,000 next year, you simply draw the map, just like you would the map to Panama City. This is what I got to do every month to reach that goal. That means I have to do this much every week. That means I have to add 2 new accounts every day. So how am I going to get the 2 new accounts? Now, if you go down here, this is what I can do to get the 2 accounts. And you map it all out and you hang it on the wall so that every time you sit down at your desk, you see it and you go over it. And your subconscious mind buys into it and begins to figure it out. Because, see, your subconscious mind is much, 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 much smarter than you are, because it can figure this stuff out without having to think about it. And so once your subconscious buys into it and starts working with you to achieve that goal, it just comes about. Now, this may sound bizarre to some people who have never studied the subconscious and how it works, but I would suggest anybody listening to this podcast, if you haven't read Think and Grow Rich, go get the book and read it. Some of the things in it will just leave you bewildered, but you will understand how they work, and it's kind of a life-changing book, I think, for most people. You get into the high levels of success, like the Tony Robbinses of the world, and the Warren Buffetts, and the Donald Trumps, the people in business and successful, and the Bill Gateses and all. I guarantee if you had them in a room, so raise your hand if you ever read Think and Grow Rich. All their hands are going to go up. Raise your hand if you've ever read Think and Grow Rich more than once. All their hands are going to go up, because it's just one of those Bibles of success. So,
well, you know, Hal, let me interject here, and I'm going to interject the young millennial and an issue with me. I totally agree. When it comes to goal setting, you should get the information of Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. That is paramount. I bought the book on Larry's suggestion. I read the book twice, and it never clicked for me. And it's because I'm an auditory learner. I can read information, and it doesn't resonate with my brain. But I can hear the information, and that's why I'm such a fan of audio. That's why I've been an audio engineer. I learn by listening faster and comprehend better by listening. So one of the things I'm going to say that's in this podcast, if you'll come to Pest Control Marketing Podcast, I'm going to put the YouTube link, or you can go to YouTube. And did you know how the whole Think and Grow audiobook is on YouTube? Absolutely free right now.
Is that right?
That's absolutely right. So I'll put a link here on our website, or if you just go search Napoleon Hill Think and Grow Rich audiobook in YouTube, and you can listen to the whole book. And what I did was I bought the audio CDs and listened to them in my car when I was driving around going from appointment to appointment. And after I heard Think and Grow Rich as an audio book is when it clicked for me.
Well, that's great.
And here's another little thing I tell young people. Have you ever heard of Earl Nightingale?
Are you asking me?
Yes, I'm asking you.
Oh, of course I have.
Well, you'd be amazed how many young people, they don't teach about Earl Nightingale or Napoleon Hill in schools. It's I think in business schools it should be mandatory. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. Well,
it's a good opinion.
And you know what? Ask young people, ask your salespeople, ask everybody in your organization, and even ask yourself, have you ever heard The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale?
Another good piece of advice.
And guess what's on YouTube right now? Absolutely free. You know why I'm fascinated by The Strangest Secret? The information is invaluable, And it is amazing even today. And it's over 50 years. It created the Nightingale Conant self-help motivational company that's still in business to the day. People like Tony Robbins and all kinds of amazing mentors are a part of that organization. And it all started with Earl Nightingale recording the first million-selling spoken word recording. See, as an audio engineer, that I love that history. But
oh, that's great.
So I was fascinated with Earl Nightingale. So I'm telling folks today, go to our website or search YouTube, and if you don't take the time to listen to Think and Grow Rich or read the book, or you can't even buy a book of The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale. That was only audio. But I'll tell you what, if those two pieces of information don't make a difference in your goal setting and help change your business mindset, I don't know what else will.
You need to get out of the business and go sit in your room and close the windows and close the doors and because you're dangerous.
Well, I'll tell you,
Mike, listen. Yes, folks, do it. Set a goal to read those books. Make that your first goal is to read those two books. And my next goal is, Mike, we got to get out of here because I got to be somewhere in a few minutes.
Well, or if you're somebody who's phone savvy, look up in the YouTube app Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich or The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale and listen on your phone. I don't care how you get that information and do it today.
And here's another goal. Go get my book while it's still free. It's entitled Bottom Line, How to Grow a Pest Control Business. It's 250 pages long. It will change the way you sell for the rest of your life. I guarantee it. And right now that book is free at howtogrowapestcontrolbusiness.com. Go get it, download it, read it. There's over 100 ways to get new customers in that book. So, Mike, I've enjoyed this, my friend.
All right.
As always.
I'm going to set a goal of going to make some lunch.
Well, that sounds good to me. I'll talk to you later.
Thanks for listening to the Pest Control Marketing Podcast. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast in iTunes and on your phones and in Stitcher on your Android. But more importantly, go to our website, pestcontrolmarketingpodcast.com. Subscribe to our email list to always be notified of new episodes. You're never going to want to miss what we got coming up next, and you never know what we're going to be able to do to help you with your pest control marketing.